Welcome to the Commander's Journey, a journey for new Commander players ready to uncover their hidden magic potential.
Welcome back. I'm Joel.
And I'm Alex.
And welcome to the Commander's Journey. We are here. This is like, the first week of January. We took a little break for Christmas. You have a good Christmas, Alex?
Yeah, I hung in there. How about yourself?
It was nice. It was relaxing. And now we're in a new year, which I am happy to be out of 2020, which I'm sure a lot of...
Yes, absolutely.
Happy to be in a new year. But anyway, it's the 6th, right? Or the 5th. It's the 5th today. This will probably come out a few days later, but we have a few teasers already. It's a new year, and we got Kaldheim right around the corner. So we just wanted to do an episode, some new episodes we're thinking about doing called First Takes. So this is just like first time we've seen these cards, just like you guys, and just kind of want to give you our first takes on them. Am I right?
It's exciting stuff. We'll see how this goes. And I definitely, that moment when you look at a new Magic card and you're like, man, this, and this. We made that into a video, so we'll see if everyone likes it. We'll go from there.
All right, so let's start with Sir Wolf. I mean, Sarulf. Is it Sir Wolf? Or it sounds like Sir Wolf.
I think it's Sarulf, but I wouldn't be surprised if that was intentional.
I think it was the intention. Sarulf, Realm Eater, for 1 black and a green. It's a legendary creature, wolf, so this thing can be your commander. Whenever permanent an opponent controls is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on Sarulf, Realm Eater. And at the beginning of your upkeep, if Sarulf has 1 or more +1/+1 counters on it, you may remove all of them. If you do, exile each other non-land permanent with converted mana cost less than or equal to the number of counters removed this way, and it is a 3/3. So what do you think? What do you think, Alex?
So what's immediately coming to mind is, we got Vorinclex in the set, right? Mm-hmm. So we're going to get this situation with, this is a nice form of removal on a commander. It's very clean. +1/+1 counters isn't anything new, but it's kind of doing a semi-unique thing with it. There's been a number of things that are similar, like Necroplasm does a version of this. Mm-hmm. Where it does it based on -1/-1 counters, or it does on +1/+1 counters, but it takes things out that's the same toughness. This one is more, aimed at CMC, which in some ways is fantastic and very unique because it can hit non-land things, and other ways is not. But I'm curious to see how this plays because God knows poison counters. Mm-hmm. This is specifically +1/+1 counters.
Yes.
But poison counters are going to be in the set. Specifically, the new Vorinclex is in the set.
Yes.
And in that situation, it's really doing a kind of version of proliferate, pseudo proliferate, and so that and this will mesh together very well.
For sure. I mean, they're definitely teasing bringing those poison counters back, and to me, as long as poison counters aren't attached to a Traxa and just like completely taking out the entire board, it doesn't feel as bad to me. But yeah, the +1/+1 is what's pasted on here, though. But.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't necessarily do it with poison counters, but I'm curious because the Vorinclex kind of go either way.
Yes,
I think we'll see. It's a +1/+1 counter theme, not a poison counter theme. But
yeah, but you can't go that. You can't go that way because Vorinclex is also. I think it's a 6/6. It's a big creature, so. If you don't put 6 counters out there, right, you put 4 or 5, and then you're doing board wipes, your Vorinclex is staying alive and that kind of thing. You can almost go big creature tribal with this in a way, right? Because you're using that board wipe type of ability on it.
Well, definitely this favors that, which is kind of nice. And it's a little unique from the +1/+1 counter standpoint because usually those are smaller creatures. Mm-hmm. I mean, some big creatures, but... Yeah. A lot of creatures build up, so you don't have to, the high CMC isn't usually what you go for. But with Sarulf, you kind of lean into that.
Yeah, I think it's interesting, especially, we got really good cards, like Hardened Scales and Whiny Constrictor that just let you multiply your counters. So by the first few turns, you could really have built up Sarulf a lot just to do some board wipes. So you could run a deck that doesn't carry a ton of creatures. You're not, or permanents, you know what I mean? You're running a lot of sorceries and instants and just doing a lot of spot removal or things like that too. And use it as a control piece in Golgari, which is kind of an interesting take on it. Run only 8 or 9 creatures and run a bunch of sorceries and instants and see how you do.
You could do that. I wouldn't necessarily go that route with this. I like your big creature tribal idea with it. That's the way you kind of hit something a little more unique, because the +1/+1 counter thing gets done so often.
Yeah.
You got to find a way to kind of twist that a little bit. And you do have a death trigger kind of style to it. So there could be a removal aspect to it, but even then, that's not too out of the normal realm. I think the big creature +1/+1 counters is the fun way to take this, anyways.
For sure. Well, it's definitely powerful. You already got a lot of removal in Golgari, but to have it pasted on your commander is kind of cool, especially when it comes down turn 3. And with like Hardened Scales, if you get that out turn 1, I mean, you could be doing some shenanigans pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And it says permanents too. We gotta be sure not to forget that. It's not just taking out creatures. You're taking out people's artifacts and enchantments as well. So it's pretty nice. I guess you could go Wolf Tribal on this too.
Yeah. This the problem is Wolf Tribal is a lot of smaller creatures, so it's going to look a lot more like a typical deck. If you wanted though black and white, or not black and white, black and green together, Sarulf is a unique choice, I think, in that regard for wolves. I can't think of any wolves off the top of my head that are black and green, especially as a legendary creature. So there is that unique aspect.
Yeah, no, I think there's a one Planeswalker that makes some. It's a Golgari Planeswalker. But anyway, those are the wolves. Those are the +1/+1 counters. So let's look at another card. And besides that, I like the art on this too for the special frame art for Sarulf. Got to mention that.
Yeah.
Love that art. Okay, here's the next guy. You want to read him?
Sure. Toski, Bearer of Secrets, is 3 and a green for legendary creature Squirrel. This spell can't be countered. It's indestructible. Toski, Bearer of Secrets, attacks each combat if able. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. It's a 1/1. This one's an interesting one, though I will say I like it a lot better in the 99 than I do as a commander.
I think so too. I mean, yeah, sure. If you want to go Squirrel Tribal, right? There's definitely squirrels out there you could.
That's the only way I'd see you play it, because right now there's not currently any good legal squirrel command. It's the first legendary creature squirrel that's black border. So in that way, that's why I assume you'd play it. But otherwise, it's not doing anything super unique. I mean, I'm sure there'll be some fun decks with it in mind, to be honest. But there's nothing there that's drawing me in and of itself. I just like it a lot better in the 99. I know before we turned on the cameras, Joel, I even said to you, any deck you want an Orin Frostfang in is a deck you want a Toski, Bearer of Secrets.
Yeah, and it's mono green, so it's going to go in a lot of commander decks. It's an indestructible creature, and it can't be countered. So what's nice about it is, I mean, you're gonna get this thing down. It's protected in a lot of ways, and it's a card draw engine. As if green needed, more card draw. See, this is my only complaint is I feel like cards like this, I just wish they would make more of these, and put them in white. I know we were having a discussion last week on that,
Yes.
whether that actually breaks the color pie or not. I was actually asking people online too, and we were debating that a little bit. I don't think it does quite, and then I heard your argument on it, but I'll just put my thing out there real quick. I mean, I feel like white is one of the more I know historically it's more supportive color, but white also tends to be very aggro color. It makes a lot of tokens, and it always seems to be going for attacks, with big angels or a bunch of tokens going wide. So I feel like giving them a card, giving white a card that allows you to draw off of attack or off of damage or off that kind of thing doesn't stray too far away from what white wants to do. And it would just be nice to have better cards for drawing, better card draw cards in mono white.
We've talked about this. I don't disagree with the logic of, white, it would be cool if it had it. It would really make sense. But I totally disagree. I think it'd be an insane break to the color pie. And they found ways in the color pie to do this for red, to get card draw in there. They're starting to do it with white with things like the new Mangara. Is a great way to do it. Or, we're seeing Ramp with Smothering Tithe, where taxing effects make sense. Or,
Keeper of the Court.
Keeper of the Court, exactly. Yeah. I like white as an idea that white isn't allowed to be in first place, because specifically it's the answer color is how R&D sees it, where they have all the answers in their deck. This is for normal Magic, by the way. Commanders messed a lot of this up, but for normal Magic, it's the answer color. So how they balance that is you can't ramp and you can't card draw very easily, and of course that doesn't work in Commander. We need those things. So I like how they're doing it, where like you're never going to be in first place in white unless you have a different and other colors in there. But in a mono white deck, you can be in second place, and I think they should angle in that way, where draw as many cards till you have the same number as the max. Player with the max number of cards or hand -1, or the same number, or the taxing effects like with Smothering Tide, that it's permission style, because that's something else white does, like Mangara and Smothering Tide. You do this, and you can decide not to have this happen, but I'm going to do this, and I'm going to make it really swayed to whether or not it's allowed or not. And I like that quite a bit. So I think that is more in the color pie for it, and I think they're carving it out as we speak. I think they probably already done it. We just haven't seen those cards yet.
And you had mentioned Rhystic Study would make more sense as like a white type of card too. So it fits more. It fits more within. Yeah, it fits more within that style. But I mean, what if you had a card like this, but instead of it being put in like a main set, it was put in like just a commander specific set, so that it wasn't legal in standard or other formats, because maybe the color pie does need to be stretched in this format particularly.
I legitimately think that would be the best way to do this, but the logic that I think that's okay is not so much as, we don't want to break the color pie. It's that white historically has broken the color pie the least out of the 5 colors, and we need to play a little color pie break catch up. It's not for a good reason. I'm just saying. So I mean, those are our two of the newer cards. Those are our first takes. Let's just quickly. There's a bunch of other cards that just came that were teased, and there's going to be a bunch more. I think is it the end of this week or next week that they're going to be spoiler season. It's looking like they're doing. They always do this little weird around the winter, because they started a little bit, especially last year or two prior to Christmas, and then going into when they start getting back in the office. Of course, this year that's even gotten weirder. But
2020 definitely played a role in that.
Exactly. I think we're going to see a couple things over the next few days from when we're recording it, Joel. By the time we release it, most of that will have happened already. And I think we'll really start seeing it ramp up next week. All
right. Well, those were our first takes. And we're also going to do a little thing here at the end. We're going to do some quick takes, a bunch of these other cards that were teased. I'm sure everybody's excited about a few of them. We're just going to go over them quickly. Oh, I forgot to mention, there's the Squirrel Mob and the Squirrel Wrangler. Yeah, in case you want to go Squirrel Tribal, I put them in the slideshow right there. But here we go. I'm looking at Kaeya the Inexorable, if I'm saying that correctly. I just love this Planeswalker. We're not going to read all these cards, but you take a look at this card. For obvious reasons, I'm putting this in my Teysa Karlov deck. I mean, death triggers, being able to exile non-land permanents, and it's ultimate if you can ever get to it. Just be able to grab things from your graveyard and just do all sorts of crazy stuff. Grab things out of exile. I mean, this card is awesome. Love Kaeya. And, she's definitely going in my Teysa Karlov deck.
Yeah, I like this realm of play for Kaeya. It makes total sense to me lore-wise. Very interested in this card and what we're going to see out of it.
For sure.
And then next we have Realmwalker. And Realmwalker is an interesting one. It is, a changeling, but it's more going to go in any type of tribal set. Any playing we have green and tribal. This is a nice little card-ish draw engine, where you can play it off the top. It's nice. I can definitely see if you already have an existing tribal deck, I would throw this in, but nothing crazy new here.
Yeah, kind of like a Sylvan Library type of thing, but on a creature.
Yeah.
Shapeshifter, awesome. Also, Magda, again, that crazy cool artwork, giving it's Dwarf Tribal, and you can get, you get treasure tokens, you get dragons. I mean, this thing is the Hobbit, just on a card. It's dwarves, it's treasures, it's dragons. It looks a lot of fun. There are a bunch of older cards. It's going to make relevant, like Dwarven Recruiter, Dwarven Pony, Dapala Pilot Exemplar, which it looks like one of the other dwarf legendary commander. So yeah, it just seems like making dwarves more playable in EDH. Looks like fun. Some people really, really love this card. Looks like it can do a lot of cool stuff. Check it out for sure.
I'm going to be honest, Joel. I'm one of those people that really love this card. I have been sad we haven't had more dwarves in Magic. I think it's really a missed opportunity, and I'm glad to see their return. And this is kind of doing a lot of crazy, cool stuff that totally makes sense to me flavor-wise.
I mean, come on. Tolkien has had dwarves in his stories for all of his stories. Anyways, keep going.
Well, I know, too, on R&D side of it, too, they said themselves, every set we could have put dwarves in, we could put in goblins, and they just ended up deciding they liked goblins better. I know there's someone, too, in the in R&D or in the story department that really liked goblins and did not like dwarves. So I don't know who that was. I've heard from Worrow's Water.
They must have been forced to read The Hobbit one too many times as a kid.
You know, they're like, all these dwarves, I can't keep track of them. They're dwarving it up too much. Let's pull it back.
Dwarven. All right.
So next we got Halvar, God of Battle. There's parts of this card I love, but I generally dislike it greatly.
Oh, really?
I think if you have a god, it needs to be indestructible. It needs to have something about it that feels godly. Yes, it's really cool. It turns into an equipment. That is the part of it I like. The part of it I hate is it needs to be indestructible. It needs to do something god-ish. This doesn't feel like a god. This feels like a creature that decided to be a stick.
It feels like the sword made him a god because the sword's more powerful. You know, if the thing dies, it goes back to your hand. So, like, the sword seems more playable to me. I kind of agree in a way. I feel like the equipment's really great, and then it's cool. I almost feel like not as my commander, but like in the 99, I'm like, oh, I got a cool equipment that helps me protect my thing, and then in case I need a creature, I got it too.
It's a cool card. It's just not a god. That's my personal hot take.
Halvar is not a god. You heard it.
You know, I saw them. I saw them going this direction. We slowly crept more and more into another way. The god feels godly, where you get him back again, and then they're 3 from the top. I knew we were getting to the point where they weren't going to do this anymore, but I don't feel like that's God. Gods are supposed to be some of the big things on the planet. I know. I look forward to them, so a little bumming.
There you go. Okay, well, the next one should cheer you up. Oops, I put it in the wrong order. The next, I'm going to have to fix that on post. The next one is Rampage of the Valkyries. This 5 CNC enchantment it just seems awesome. I mean, come on, you're going to put this in your Angel Tribal. Or I guess there might be Valkyries in this new set, and they might be Valkyrie Angels, is my guess. But basically, it's Orzhov. It's Dictate of Erebos on an enchantment that also makes 4/4 white flying angel tokens. I mean, what's not to love about this card? And the artwork is pretty sick. I kind of want to play him out of that one.
I will say, artwork slam dunk, 100% agree.
Yeah.
Totally agree. Dictate of Erebos, Angel specific, which is kind of a bummer, but it does at least create a flyer when it comes into play, another Angel.
But don't we want more of these like narrow
I do
for
actually,
tribal cards? That way you can't just stick this card in every deck. It's great for Angels, but you can't have it everywhere.
I do like it, and there's an argument to be made that I would have liked this slightly better if mana cost wise it was a hair lower, like it was at 4, so you really feel like you're getting a bonus. But then we're getting at a point where it's 4 mana to make a 4/4 with enchantment and upside. Like that seems a little too powered. So I get why they did it. It's just
Dictate is at 5, so
I mean, I want this to be better than Dictate, and it's not. That's really what I'm getting at here. But the art, 100% slam dunk, and I love the tribal in this set. Angel tribal in white and black. I'm looking forward to Black Angels again, and I haven't seen that for a while, so I'm looking forward to it.
Sweet. And then
the next one, Sorry,
guy.
we threw this in last minute. I surprised Joel with it that I wanted to talk about. It was Battle Mammoth. This card, we're going to do a top, 5, top 10 for us. Each are top 5.
You've already figured you're putting this in there, huh?
I'm already deciding. I mean, I don't know what else
Even
in the set,
before
so
the
who
set
knows? I can
comes
change
out.
so far, this is the standout for me of cards I really like. I love this ability. I love the fact it's on an elephant. It's a 6/5 for 5 already with trample. Has abilities to, protect it. And I am just so sad Fortell did not exist in, I know this is slightly before your time, Joel, but Dragons of Tarkir. This shtick would have worked great for that, and they're so sad they didn't figure it out till this point. It's slightly different, but I could see that with a slight rewording really making sense there. But I like Foretell. I love this effect. Runic Armasaur has something similar. Love that it's trample. Love it's a 6/5. Love it's 5 mana. Holy cow! And it's an elephant too. Like,
yeah, it's
great.
It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
Oh, exciting.
Yeah. And there's another one we're excited about, right?
Yeah. Pyre of Heroes is interesting. That's one of the other ones we really wanted to talk about. It's mostly colorless birthing pod. So it's one of those ones where I'm not excited because it's a tutor, but I do see the power level, and I like that they made it colorless, which is a perfect balance to having it be tribal specific. I really kind of like that trade-off.
Whole section, but that's awesome. And then also, besides Pyre Heroes, we have all of the pathways coming back. So we got all the other colors. We got your Simic, your Golgari, your Rakdos, and your Azorius pathways. Those cards are just great cards to have, and if you get them in your box, awesome. Not a bad time to buy them when they first come out, or a week or right about that time. I think the $5-10 mark for these cards is not bad. It's good for your commander decks for sure.
Yeah, I rather like the pathways. I'm not crazy about them, but I do like them. I think a lot of situations where you would play certain other lands, especially for cheaper, solid, multicolored lands, a pathway is a great way to go. And it was kind of nice, especially for a while there. It went up really badly, and now it's kind of gone back down. Yeah. Especially when you're looking at Zendikar, where it bumped up in price. Everyone kind of overshot them, I think, a little bit. And then they settled in a spot that I think is pretty reasonable about what I think the price of them should be. So I'm pretty happy. I'm surprised we got the rest of the cycle so soon. I actually was very surprised about that. So, yeah.
Good cards, great. Always great to have good lands for your commander decks. All right, well that's it. Those are our first takes. So now that I have to do a bunch of edit, see the whole idea was to do this and not have to do very much editing, but that's okay. I'm gonna figure it out at the end.
That's why I'm laughing here, guys. This everything we tried to do to lower the editing time was like, nope, not happening this time around.
Yeah. I mean, come on, we got jobs, we got full-time family, I got kids running around, but. We love doing this. We love this game, and we love that you stuck around, hopefully, this far and listen. If you have, please hit subscribe. Give us a thumbs up. Let us know what you think in the comments. I think we're going to try and do more of these in the future if we can. Maybe first takes when these cards first come out, because we just like to, along with you guys, just give you our thoughts and our excitement about what's coming out with Magic these days. So, yeah, thanks for listening.
I'm looking forward to this set. Definitely a top 5. I'm going to fit that Battle Mammoth in. But if you're interested in getting any of these cards in the eventual future, we're not even there yet. But, feel free to use our affiliate link. We do really appreciate it. We're a tiny channel, and literally, it's any small amount helps. It's
right
great
now,
for
it's
us,
just
so
building our ego just a little bit. We need a little bit.
I don't know about you, but even if it's just a smaller amount, I'm just so happy every time. I feel like someone cares.
Exactly. Well, awesome, guys. Thanks for listening. Until next time.
See ya.